The Sandy and Toddcast is a Mind Garden Media podcast in association with
Screw You, Todd
Productions. All right, here we go. Sunday fun day.
Sunday fun day. Hi, Todd.
How are you, by the way?
I'm good. How are you?
I was just going to say I'm doing fine. You
beat me to it.
Yeah. Let me just see what this says here. Here's what's going on, just so everybody's aware. We're doing a Sunday fun day with Zeeke Harris. But as of right now, we haven't seen him.
Yeah, and he just like a half an hour ago commented that he would love to pull cards for everybody today. But right now he's MIA. So we said, all right, well, let's go live anyways. We'll wait for Zeke. And they should be joining us hopefully soon. Hopefully soon.
That would be nice if they do. Yeah.
We love Zeke. We love Zeke.
If not, it's a very quick Sunday fun day, and we move on, and I go clean my house. I mean, that's basically what'll happen.
Yeah, and I have some work to do. You know what? This tonight on Discovery Plus. So for everybody that has Discovery Plus, I've been waiting for this for a while, and I was going to ask you if you knew about it yet. It's one of those shock docs. You know, they had the Warrens one and the Amityville Horror House, and they're really well done. I actually really like them. They have a new one out called The Devil Made Me Do It.
Yes.
About demonic possession is blamed for a murder in a small New England town, and it has to do with an 11-year-old boy. So that's about an hour and a half of my life that I really want to engage in. So I already warned Dave that is on our agenda for tonight. So we're going to watch that.
So here's a question for you. Is that based on the movie that's coming out and The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It?
I don't know. I was wondering that. I don't know a lot about the new Conjuring movie, so I don't know what the whole premise is of it.
It's like a 13-year-old boy or something, and he murders some people or something, and it's called... Yeah,
it very well may be. Maybe it's like the, quote, true story behind the Conjuring movie. I don't know, but it sounds good. I love that stuff. That stuff, I get very engrossed in that. So if you don't have Discovery Plus, you really should get it. It's only $4.99 a month. And I will say this, we don't have the ability to watch Discovery Plus at camp on our TVs. So we're kind of, and I say stuck, but we're stuck watching like Travel Channel, mainstream satellite or cable, and it's all the old ones. The only way you get the really new ones is by having Discovery Plus.
Yeah.
So I just highly recommend it because I can always find something.
If it's the one I think it is, Sherry, my friend, who's on with our broadcast every once in a while, she'll tune in, said that she was watching it the other night on, I think, Travel Channel. So maybe they debuted it there too. I don't know, but
maybe
you might
be
able. Yeah, but looking forward to that certainly. And I think it is tied into that movie, and I think there's a lot to do with the Warrens in this one again.
It sounds like it probably is. So I love that stuff. I eat that stuff up. Plus, there's, like I said, always something really good on Discovery Plus. So that's my Sunday evening fun tonight. I just have some work to do this afternoon to get caught up, and then I'm just going to relax tonight. Over the weekend, everybody knows how much I love cemeteries. I just love them. And we have a camp in Madison County, New York, which is, the whole state of New York is very, very historic. But Madison County especially has some amazing historical figures that are buried there and some really cool stuff. And so whenever we get an idea, we want to ride around a little bit. Anytime we see an old cemetery.
Now, wait a minute. Is it we or me?
Well, no, I will say in my own defense this time.
Yeah, okay.
That Dave enjoys it too. Dave enjoys it too because he likes history too. So we happened upon a cemetery that we have never, believe it or not, come across before, the Peterborough Cemetery. And our camp is not too far from Peterborough, New York. Peterborough, New York was the home of Gerrit Smith. Gerrit Smith was a very famous social reformer, abolitionist in the 1800s. He actually freed many, many slaves, and he was a conductor on the Underground Railroad. And literally his homestead, the house isn't there anymore, but his homestead is literally 5 minutes from our camp. Peterborough is also the birthplace of the Bloomers. And
oh, well, there you go.
We've all heard of bloomers. Back in the 1800s, women would wear bloomers. And that's the birthplace of bloomers. So Peterborough, even though it's tiny, they do a Civil War reenactment every year, too. They have a lot going on there, and it's really cool. So we came across the Peterborough Cemetery, and Gerrit Smith is buried there along with his whole family. And we found some really cool headstones. Things that, I'm very sensitive to things like that. And things that, headstones and burials that will stay with me for probably the rest of my life, much like the Harriet Tubman experience that I had. And so I thought it would be a really cool idea, along with you, we kind of discussed it together, that maybe over the summer we can do a cemetery series. And I got some beautiful pictures. We can share some great pictures of these cemeteries, these very small cemeteries, with historic people or just wonderful stories in them, along with pictures, and maybe tell people a little bit more about what's in their own backyard, because most of us have no idea what really truly is going on or went on right in our own backyards. So I think that would be really cool. What?
I just wanted to see if you could pick it up and keep going.
I hate you. I hate you so much. Oh, I was reading Drew. Drew's on. He says, "Did you trim your beard?"
I did.
I know you did.
Yeah,
I was gonna bring that up next.
Yeah.
So
and the hair is much shorter now.
Yeah, it looks really good though. It looks very nice.
It's fine. It was time.
I know. You look a little sad. It's like losing part of yourself.
No. Well, no. I mean, it's not sad. Beard hair gets to the point where you just can't straighten it anymore.
Yeah.
Because my beard hair is actually very curly.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. So
I think it looks fantastic. I really do.
Looks fine. I like the bigger beard, but this is certainly easier to take care of. Whatever, Drew. Whatever, Drew.
Is it better in the summer too? Is it a little bit cooler in the summer?
Nah, that doesn't
make a difference.
That doesn't affect me.
No.
Screw that.
Hi, Ed.
Here's what we're going to do. So as we mentioned earlier, before everybody popped on here, we're waiting to speak with Zeeke Harris. And they were supposed to be with us before noon, but so far they have not arrived. And we saw that Zeeke had posted that he was going to be on the show today, but he's not responding. So I'm going to call him. We're going to do it live on the show.
Let's call him.
Can you hear that okay?
Yeah.
All right. I'm actually not doing this on the special phone in the studio.
Maybe he's sleeping.
But he just posted, he sent me a message 20 minutes ago.
I know.
And it was a shirtless picture, and he said, "This is how I'm doing the podcast today." And I said, "Oh, no." All right, so he's not answering. So
well, I'm not really sure what we should do. Should we make it just a quick Sunday fun day? And if we can get a hold of him, we'll pop back on.
Let's just hang out for a little bit and see what goes on.
I'm all about it. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I went and got ice cream this weekend. That was great.
Isn't it funny when, so both Sandy and I have done this Weight Watchers thing. I've been doing it since, was it May of last year?
I think it was May because I started right at the beginning of July. You kind of inspired me.
In May, I lost 30 pounds right off the bat. Boom. By August, I think I'd lost that. And then I'm a stress eater. So some things went on in the family with my dad and stuff like that. And the weight kind of trickled up. And I knew it was, but at some point you go, well, I'm just going to have this cheeseburger.
It's true.
And so then Christmas rolled around and I thought, well, the holidays are done. I'm going to kick back in. And at that point I had gained 15 pounds back. So, so then I got back on it and lost all that weight. Now I'm at the lowest weight. I weighed myself this morning. I'm at the lowest weight I've been in probably 5, 6, 7 years.
I am incredibly proud of you.
Yeah, but here's the problem. I still like food.
Oh yeah, so do I.
I
think it's about. So I started probably around the end of June, and I lost a good amount in the beginning. Everybody loses a good amount in the beginning because it's just your body is reacting to less calories, less carbs, and all of that. And so you do lose that. And then I slowed down a little bit. But over about 4 or 5 months, I lost 30 pounds. So I'm pretty proud. I have been kind of holding steady, give or take a couple of pounds since I stopped doing the actual aggressive Weight Watchers, probably end of December. I've been holding steady, so I'm pretty proud of myself. The other day, I realized I gained like 4 pounds. And once you become aware of that, after you've lost that weight, once you become aware of it, it eats at you.
Of course it does.
I'm pretty proud. And I think personally, it's about, we hope, I think personally, it's about just being more conscious of what you do. When you're thinking about it, you tend to make better decisions when you're consciously thinking about it. So over the weekend, I behaved myself like big time. And one thing that I've learned being diabetic is if you want ice cream or you want something, you have to count it in with your daily allowance. You don't. Oh,
hang on. Zeke's calling. Let me get this guy on. Stand by a second. I got to figure out how to answer this thing. Hold on. I'm just going to take it on my phone.
All right.
Hey, you going to join us? That's where we thought that's where you were. So when you get dried off and you put on some lingerie, join us on the cast, okay? Yeah, it's 1 Eastern, 12 Central, and you and I live in Central Time, so.
We have to remind them.
All right, bye. You were right. He was in the shower.
Yep.
Didn't you say that?
Yeah, I beforehand, and I'm like, I know that they probably got confused with the time zones. There you go. So anyways,
we've had this conversation with them, and
I know. But anyways, so I'm pretty excited the fact that I did lose about 1.5 pounds because every Sunday I still can't keep my Weight Watchers to help keep me accountable to at least stay level, maintain, and I did lose 1.5 pounds since I started behaving myself more. Because it is, you're right. It's easy to say, oh, I can just have this piece of cake. Or I can just have this ice cream with the chocolate syrup on top and the whipped cream. And it's just one time, but one time turns into 10.
See, but for me, it's not that because I'm not like I don't want to go and have a big greasy burger. That's not how my body likes to eat anyway. But what happens is you forget what you did have.
Yeah,
you forget how much dressing you had on your salad. You forget that there was eggs. You forget that blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, and if you don't watch yourself, then instead of grabbing an apple, you're grabbing some snacks out of the, cupboard or whatever. Yes. And so I'm better off if I'm thinking about it than if I'm not thinking about it.
Most definitely. That's me too. And one of my problems one of my problems is that I do like the occasional very high calorie treat. And so it's fine, except when you do it 4 times a week, it's not so fun.
Right.
And that's my problem. But for the most part, I eat healthy, but then I add junk onto it. So, I'm going to keep going, but I do love Weight Watchers. People ask me all the time about how I lost the weight, and I tell them I love it. I never feel hungry when I'm on Weight Watchers. They give you a lot of room.
Absolutely. And it's easy now because you just take your phone and scan the item and boom, the points are in there.
Just love it.
One of the things I know is I'm a stress eater. So if I get stressed out, I will forego the healthy meal and just want to eat a big old chocolate cream cake, like the whole freaking thing.
The whole thing. Man, when I think back to, because I used to weigh 300 pounds at one point in my life. This was before I got really sick, deathly sick in 2012. But I weighed almost 300 pounds. And I remember, we've talked about this before, I could eat an entire half gallon of ice cream and not even think about it. Or a whole package of Oreos and not even think twice about it. It was nothing. I was a champion. And now the thought of that, like, I don't even eat fast food anymore. I haven't had a Whopper in probably 9 years. I
had a little McDonald's 2 weeks ago.
Did you? Yeah. I can eat fries. Like, I can have a small fry and be okay. But anything more than that, my body can't handle that grease anymore.
Our friend David Williams is tuned in today. David, thanks for being along.
Hi, David.
We're waiting on Zeeke Harris. They were supposed to be here at noon, and
it was David's birthday recently.
Was it?
Yes.
Happy
birthday to you.
Are you going to sing to him? And that's do that sexy, sultry thing that Marilyn Monroe did for the president that one time.
You don't want to hear my version of that. No, you do it. You do it.
Happy birthday. So David said, no, I'm in October. So I just wasted that for nothing.
David, I thought you posted something about a birthday the other day. That's how good I am at this stuff.
No, he was changing jobs.
Oh,
that's what it was.
Oh, that was it. Okay, well, congratulations on that.
A lot of that going on around here lately.
And Drew, yes, yes. And then Drew just got his position not too long ago. We talked about that. So everybody really.
And I'm sliding into something new on the 28th, which is a huge life change for me. Yeah. And so I hope that goes very well as well.
I'm
Still
sure
waiting for his. Oh, here, look who's here. The prima donna is entering the studio right now. They needed to shower and get ready for the broadcast. Now, I'm not seeing his photo yet, so there he is. Okay. Okay. You ready for this?
Oh, boy, I can't wait. I can't wait.
They're looking good. So let's just say this. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe 18 minutes late. It's just how they arrive at a party. Zeeke Harris, everybody. Hi, Zeeke.
Better late than never. Better late than never. Of
course, now his picture went away. Oh, my goodness.
Much better. Can y'all hear me now?
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Yeah, sorry. I was, I had my getting ready music going, and apparently time zones are a thing.
Oh, my gosh. That's so funny. I'm like, didn't Zeeke just write a comment on the page not that long ago? Like, where is he?
I had to freshen up. I had to powder my nose a little bit.
Oh, well, you look great.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Nice. Yeah, I apologize again. So sorry about being a little bit late.
It's okay.
No, it's all good. She talked about going to a graveyard. I talked about losing weight and trimming the beard, and everything's great. So, but people were waiting for you. So,
but isn't that what radio's all about? You have to kind of be able to act on the fly, and we sure did. So we pulled it off.
Y'all are professionals. I trust you.
There you go.
Good.
There you go.
So
Thank you so much.
What's new in your world? Fill us in before we get going on stuff.
Just working at my mundane job, which is absolutely
mundane.
Sometimes mind-numbing is more like it. Doing lots of readings. I've been doing like at parties. I was actually a friend of mine actually put me in their book. So I've done a lot of work around the St. Louis area, like dealing with real bad hauntings and stuff like that. And he included that in his book, some of my magical misadventures.
That's fantastic. We, what was I gonna say? Oh, I see you all the time posting about doing readings and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're everywhere.
It's the good kind of busy. It's definitely the good kind of busy.
Without a doubt.
So that's it's all been going on and getting moved in with my other half. So that's always fun. So I've been moving, doing readings, and doing a full-time job. So it's kind of exhausting.
Yeah, I'll say. And readings can be obviously very draining.
Yes. If you do so many readings so often, I get what's called the shaman sickness. It's when I start feeling like nauseated and really drained. And there's other readers out there, I'm sure, who can vouch for me. Whether you read tarot or do the pendulum or throw bones or something of that nature, it's very, very draining on your energy. And it's kind of like working out a muscle.
Yeah, it really is. The more you develop it, the more it takes away from you sometimes.
It's like you have to get enough sleep, and also make sure you're eating correctly, because junk in, junk out is what I always say.
Right. So magic.
Boy, we're just diving right in, aren't we, Sandy?
Let's do it. I'm excited about this. I've been waiting for this.
So magic, my favorite definition of the term magic is the way nature flows that science has not yet understood or will probably never understand. I believe in science and things like that, but my favorite definition is the way nature is magic is the way nature flows that science does not understand, and we will probably never understand. That's the definition of magic. It's working with the world around you and the energies it produces.
Now, again, just to remind us, because we've talked to you about some of this stuff in the past, but how did you get involved? What interested you about it? Why do you do magic?
I got really interested in it because we all grew up watching those Disney movies with Maleficent and the Evil Queen from Sleeping Beauty and things like that. And I always kind of pulled for the magic users. You're like, why do they gotta die?
I know, right?
Why do they have to be bad? And it sort of took off whenever I was a kid, but then I really got into it after I left seminary at 25, whenever I came out. And I thought that if organized religion isn't working out for me, I want a path that is going to teach personal responsibility and give me the ability to have a little more say in what happens with me, But at the same time, like I said just a second ago, it also teaches you personal responsibility. It teaches you that you're responsible for the world that you're creating around you.
You mentioned seminary again, and I know we talked about it the last time we had you as a guest. Do you feel, people always say they were called to serve or they were called to do that. Did you feel like you were called to go to seminary?
I did. I felt like I was called to sort of serve my community and just serve the human race in general from a spiritual aspect. And for a while, it took the shape of me going to seminary, or what I perceived, because that's the only option that seems quote unquote legit to most people, is organized religion. But you don't have to be. If you go to a church or a mosque or anything, or a synagogue, and that's how you church, and that's what feeds your soul, then that's awesome. Do it. Just do it to the best of your ability, and do it to make the world around you a richer, better place. That's what I say.
Yeah, I've always subscribed to the idea that it doesn't matter what religion, non-religion, it's more about having faith in what you believe and having that structure in your life and something to believe in and something to keep moving you forward. So regardless of what religion, non-religion, whatever belief you have, I'm very spiritual. I feel like it's so important to have something like that in your life.
And it is very important, because you can also not necessarily have spirituality and want to make the world a better place. You don't have to believe in a higher power.
Right.
Religion is the lens through which you choose to view the world.
Right. Agreed.
And if you choose not to practice religion or have spirituality or believe in a higher power, that's awesome. It's just that, how are you affecting the world right now? That's it. Go ahead, Todd.
Well, I was just going to say, so for most people, they learn about their practice, their religion, their belief system by going to a building once a week and sitting, like in a classroom and learning and reading and all that kind of stuff. For folks who want to learn magic or get into Wicca, things like that, it's a little bit different. So how did you start your learning process when you kind of turned to magic and brought that into your life?
The very first thing that started me out on my path to magic is the very first book I picked up about magic was, I think it was Wicca for the Solitary Practitioner by Scott Cunningham. And after I read that book from cover to cover, I started seeking out kindred souls, which I'm very grateful that I live in the age of the internet, because I started reaching out on message boards and Facebook and asking questions and building my own community of people who could mentor me and sharpen my abilities and help me find my niche. Right. Whenever it comes to doing like magic, because I believe it's what me and my partner call is we call it our majors, kind of like college degrees. Kind of like I say, my major is divination and such and such.
Right.
But it definitely helps to have a community, and it also helps that you are able to have hands-on approach, and they allowed me to ask questions. And to me, that's very important. If I can't ask questions, then there's something fishy going on.
Right.
To me, the path of magic is to get you away from just blind faith. If you can't question it, then I will question the authenticity of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You mentioned, which was kind of interesting, how the internet allowed you to pursue this. And I think back because obviously I'm before the age of the internet, and my friend and Lisa Hale, same thing. And she practiced Wicca for a long time. And I always think back to like when she started doing it, or would tell me that she would start doing it. You had to be on the lookout for people that seemed like they might be into it to try and make that connection. And then, there were all these meetings going on and stuff like that nobody else knew about. It was really tough to kind of find a group of people to have that communication with. And I also want to mention that you mentioned Scott Cunningham as the author of that book. When I asked that question, I was wondering if it was going to be one of his books.
Yes, Scott Cunningham is legendary in witchcraft and Wicca circles. He produced some of the most concise, in my opinion, some of the most concise books on the craft and on herb magic and mineral magic and things like that. I also read a book by Amber Kay called True Magic, which is great which is a lovely primer for people who want to get into working with energy and working with energies of rocks and herbs and the world around them. It's a very, very nice footstep into the world of magic.
And what was that title again? Because we've had a question about it. What's that title on the Scott Cunningham book?
Wicca for the Solitary Practitioner. I'm trying to think if I have it here, because I'm like sitting right next to my library, but I'm not in the mood to go through all the hundreds of books to try to find it. Because it's I could because we'd be here for hours if I had to go through all the books.
All right, so for like layman's terms, magic. How do you what's the terminology there? What's the definition of magic?
To me, the layman's term for magic is being able to pull the strings, if you will, of your environment and the energy of those things around you to produce a desired outcome. That's what it is. And you get what you put out. If you send out something for money, you got to be really specific, because if you say, hey, I need more money, and then work gives you like 60 hours a week, you aren't specific about how you wanted to make that money.
Right.
Not going to spontaneously like generate wealth in your life. It's going to give you, in my opinion, it gives you opportunities to make money and also to network, which in turn would lead to money. So in layman's terms, magic is working with the world around you and various energies and entities to get a desired outcome.
And how long have you been practicing magic?
I have been practicing magic for about 14 years.
Wow.
Do you have to have specific spells for certain things, or is your intention enough to kind of get the ball rolling? How does that work?
In my opinion, sometimes we don't have what we need on the spot whenever we do need to whenever we need to do a spell or need to work with magic. And the best thing that you can have whenever you're doing magic is crystal clear intention, because it's tough to give the energy a direction whenever your thoughts are muddied. And that's why whenever I'm telling somebody who wants to practice magic, it's always good to have a good meditation practice as well. A calm mind is very important whenever you're trying to manifest something.
I do a bit of manifesting. Do you have a kind of a regiment that you go through for manifesting? I mean, do you do it daily? Are there ones that you do on certain days of the week? Blah, blah, blah. Like, how do you prepare yourself for that?
I have a daily meditation practice that I usually do that has a lot to do with my tradition. And whenever I want to manifest something, it also helps to have a journal too. I write it down. You write the vision down so that way that you won't forget it. And if I feel like I need to do a ritual with the candles and herbs and stuff like that, then I do it. I follow my discernment and I follow what spirit tells me. But at the same time, you've also got a crystal clear intention can also be a bad thing too, because if you're just visualizing something terrible happening, then you're probably manifesting something terrible happening.
it's kind of interesting too, because I've had you and other people say when you manifest, you need to be very specific about what you're manifesting. And then I've had people tell me, no, manifest what you want the outcome to be and put it out there and let the universe kind of decipher how that's going to turn out. And so I'm sitting here going, I don't know what to do now, you know? So I kind of sit here going, "Meh."
Sometimes it can be like that. Sometimes whenever we need something really bad, we don't know how we're going to get it. You just have to have faith in yourself and faith to whatever energy you're working with that it's going to happen. Like you don't know the whole process, and you got to say like, God, it's kind of reminds me of like a prayer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how
it is similar,
but you really, really need it to happen.
See, going back to manifesting, or meditation.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who have not meditated or don't know much about meditation, how it works, what you do, is there a set time that you need to meditate, or is it all about what feels good for you?
What feels good for you. Also a thing about magic, and there's not, in my opinion, there is not a dogmatic approach to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got away from organized religion because me and dogma did not get along.
Yeah.
There's not a dogmatic way to do magic. There's not a dogmatic way to be a witch. There's not a dogmatic way, because different cultures have different traditions to access this ability to manifest and to be able to work with this energy and work with the spirits. There is no correct way to do magic. There is no right tradition. And whenever you start saying your tradition is the right tradition, congratulations, you're moving towards dogmatic thought, and you're making others feel insufficient in doing the same thing, and it's just not very nice.
Right.
I know Sandy brought that question up, and I think that question was kind of coming from her directly because, I know that like when it comes to manifesting, she'll say, well, meditation.
Yeah.
Well, how do you meditate? You know, how do you meditate? What happens? What's supposed to happen? And I don't have that answer. I meditate in my own way, in my own time, in what feels good to me. I have different experiences in my meditation than, say, my sister. My sister, has crazy meditations, and I'm just sitting there relaxing, kind of floating through what's going on when I'm meditating. So I think, again, in that case, it's different for every individual.
And I've been doing it sort of like you do. He sent me this really great music that I can use. And I've been meditating more and kind of feeling my way through it to kind of figure it out. I did a manifestation the first time about a week or so ago.
How did that turn out for you?
Really well, because guess what? Everything that I had hoped for the next day came true.
Yeah, we actually worked together on that.
We did it together at pretty much the same time. And the next day, everything we had hoped for, we had thrown out into the universe. It actually came true. So that was great.
And there's really no bad way to meditate, but the way I was taught to start meditating was something that's called like a candle meditation. This is for people who are just trying to get their feet wet and just trying to dabble. It's like you just take a simple taper candle and you just focus on the flame. Nothing matters. If thoughts float into your head, let them float in, but let them float out just as easy. Because all that matters in that moment is just the flame. Do it for 5 minutes, just starting out. You don't have to sit there and do like 30-minute meditations. Sometimes the best meditation is just being a pebble in the stream.
I heard one time too, breathing techniques, because when you concentrate on your breathing and all you think about is your breathing in and out, it's true, because I do it a lot. There's nothing else in your mind. Your mind is completely concentrating on your own breathing at the time. And it's pretty fascinating how if you are concentrating on one particular thing, everything else sort of calms and nothing negative is in there. It's all very just, you're kind of floating when it happens.
And it's kind of like, breath work is also very important. Personally, I do something it's like called the 7-fold breath. It's you breathe in for 7 seconds. If you're able, hold for 7 seconds, and then you breathe out for 7 seconds. I believe some people refer to it as the little death breath.
Uh-huh.
And I know, right? And really, I find that also really, really helps with focus and calming the mind as well. So it's in for 7, holding for 7, and then you breathe out for 7.
I have to try that. I'm going to try that.
Do it right now. Go for it.
No, I'm not going to do it right now.
I'll count for you. You ready?
No. He also tried to get me to sing Happy Birthday like Marilyn Monroe before you were here. So He ended up doing it though, which was even better.
Yeah, you missed out on that. That was pretty good.
You know.
So let's talk about like simple magic and complex magic. Do you do magic for everything? Are there certain things you do magic for?
If I feel the need, like a rise for magic, like if I feel led to do something like a ritual or a spell for magic, I prefer to use like herbs and candles and stuff that sort of syncretize to the intentions, because there are certain plants that are for money drawing in some traditions. There are plants for love. There are plants for protection. There are stones for love. There are stones for money. There are stones for protection, and it just goes on and on and on and on. And those things, those elements, your intention is most important, but those elements that you add can actually boost your intention a little bit. They sort of lend their energy to that particular thing. And magic can be as complex as a ceremonial magic or Enochian magic, where you work with like the energy of angels and stuff. To me, that magic is it's gorgeous, and a lot of the ritual involved with it is beautiful, but it's intimidating to me.
I can imagine. I can see that.
So do you do like classes, like actual classes on magic, on meditation, all that kind of stuff?
I
Lectures?
The classes that I teach are over, I do one that's over like spiritual baths. I go over their history, and then I like to help people be able to make their own spiritual baths, like from herbs and minerals and stuff. And it's kind of like this, like my history of spiritual baths. It's kind of like one of the, like baptism is a version of a spiritual bath. And what I think is, because also the baptism came from the rite of mikvah, which is another spiritual bath that you see in Judaism and in Jewish culture, which I believe they actually picked up in the ritual bathing they would do for pharaohs in ancient Egypt, because the Jews were in exile in Egypt for a long time, and they picked that up and brought it back. So kind of directly, baptism came from Egypt. It's and then they would use that out of the belief that it would wash away all the impurities, and it's sort of like being reborn out of the water.
Wow.
So when I came to you and I said, I need protection, I need to be cleansed of this energy that has attached itself. I don't remember. I do know there were some salts and herbs with the candles, but do you remember what might have been in those little bags you sent along?
I know I know I put some Epsom salt in there, but I also put a very pungent cooking herb called asafoetida. It's very, very, it tends to herbs that are very, very strong smelling like that, are very, very good at chasing off and protecting. And it's kind of like whenever you sage an apartment, the sage smells kind of like a particular certain sundry and dried item. And it smells very strong, and the strong smell drives away negative energy.
I'll tell you what, I got to tell you a quick story. So my mom had passed away, and my sisters and I were all just having tons of activity in our house, just tons of stuff. And my sister Vicky was not ready for that. We had not grown up with that kind of stuff. She could not deal with it. And so she decided she was going to burn sage. Well, she didn't just burn sage. She burned some sage. And her house, I mean, if you open the windows and the doors, the smoke was rolling out, and it stunk in there for a while. And she was like, how do I get this smell out of my house now? Well, yeah, sage can be that way. You can use it very sparingly in certain situations. You don't have to have the smoke rolling out of your house. I don't remember if I was there for that or not. Maybe I was.
I have a question. So Todd, once you did everything that Zeeke told you to do, when did you start to feel differently?
Almost immediately.
Yeah.
It was that weekend. And I almost felt like I almost started to feel like, because I had gotten the stuff, but there was a full moon coming or something like that. And that was very important in the spells. And so I had to time it correctly. And for me, I needed to be in the right mindset. So I think I waited a couple of days before I did it. But once the stuff arrived, things started to change. Like whatever was hanging on, kind of knew it was on its way out. And one of the last things I had to do, and I don't remember everything, but there was something with taking the stuff, the salt or something like that, taking it outside and throwing it over her shoulder or something. I don't remember.
You take a cup of water outside.
That's what it was.
Throw it over to the east. To
Correct.
The sun, and you don't look back, and you just go back inside your house.
Not a problem after that. Done.
And it's kind of like that also comes from whenever you would go see like a root worker or a root doctor, and they would give you a spiritual bath. You would bathe in this humongous metal washing tub, and you would take this washing tub and then you would throw out, not over your shoulder, but you would throw out this entire washing tub of the spiritual bath towards the rising sun. And that's sort of where that comes from, because we can't take our bathtubs out of the house, because a lot of this stuff was done before plumbing was a thing.
So, Zeeke, I know this is going to seem like a silly question, but I think a lot of people are probably thinking this.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not a full believer in the powers of magic,
mm-hmm.
will it still work for you? You know, if you have a problem and you say, "Oh, well, I'll try this," but maybe you're not fully immersed into the idea, will it still work for you?
I believe it will. If you just have a crystal clear intention, you don't have to believe in it for it to, you know what I mean? That's, to me, that's how you get your foot in the door.
Right.
You don't have to be like, because that's the thing about magic, is it doesn't require blind faith, because blind faith would be just accepting things as they're happening, and doing magic is actually trying to do something about it.
And where do a lot of these spells come from? Are there new spells, or are these all just old ancient spells that have been around for many, many years?
You can follow a tradition in spells, but you can also just follow your intuition as well. You can design your own spells, just as long as you have the crystal clear intention and follow spirit and what it wants you to use. That's why you see a lot of magical practitioners will have like what's called a book of shadows, where they write down a lot of their spells. Hold on, I actually have like I have like stacks of composition books that have a lot of my recipes and stuff like that in it. For stuff that I've written and stuff that I've picked up through the years from other magical workers that have mentored me and stuff. I say.
So like Hocus Pocus, you know, where she sings out book and the book floats up and the eye opens up and stuff like that. It's just like that.
Yes. It's and just, except none of my books have ever flipped themselves.
Oh.
Right.
To be rest assured, I don't have a book made of human skin.
I was just going to say that. No, leave that to Ed Gein up in Plainfield, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Ugh.
At least I wouldn't tell you if I had a book made of human skin.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thank you for that.
Thanks. I've got one more question, and then I'm going to kind of open the floor up to you, Zeke, to say anything further you want to say about magic. But my question is this, because my belief system when it comes to religion and spirituality and all that is very mixed. Like I mix them together like I'm making a goulash or something. So part of me still has, because I was brought up with Christianity, part of me still has that in my being. Part of me has Wicca. Not that I've fully practiced it, but there are bits and pieces of it that make sense for me. Obviously, the spirituality of manifesting and all that is very important to me. I look at manifesting a lot like prayer. It kind of works together, blah, blah, blah. For people who are strictly, Christian, or they're strictly this or that, especially those who are Christian, may have a fear of magic because we're taught for so long in that religion that everything is bad. It's evil, it's the devil. What can you say to them to kind of ease their fears if they run into this stuff?
I think something to sort of ease their fears, I would say, is if you want to try it, then try it. If you're scared of it, then don't do it, because then you're going to treat it kind of like it's like you're going to. If you think it's going to hurt you, it's going to hurt you. If you think it's going to help you, then it's going to help you. The reason that most people are scared of magic is because we're taught to be scared of personal responsibility, because a fear of magic comes from an inherent fear of being responsible for your own actions. It's like whenever I give readings for people, is we summon what we serenade. And so you if you think it's going to work out bad, guess what? It's going to work out bad. If you think it's going to work out good and you follow your intuition and you get past that fear, it's going to turn out good. You just have to be knowledgeable on what you're doing and trust the process.
Right.
Don't be like conjuring like goetic demons to get stuff for you, because that's, unless you know how to, the goetic magic is very, 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 very ceremonial magic, and it's there's certain things you have to do to be able to deal with this entity. So don't do that. Stick to simple magic if you need like a raise at work or something like that. You don't have to call a king or president of hell to come up and do that for you.
Yeah, I think I'll skip that one.
Yeah, right,
I don't need that one.
Yeah. I'm going to call out to everybody, if the people that are with us, if you'd like a card reading this afternoon, Zeke's going to do a couple of those. But I want to give you an opportunity to kind of sum up Magic 101 in your own terms.
Okay.
Not that you haven't already done a lot of that, but if there's something else that you want to pass along, I'd love to hear it.
To me, to put this with a nice, neat little bow on it, magic is, most importantly, is the power of your intention and the power of your will. And also, it really, really instills a sense of faith in faith in yourself and your own abilities. Because every human on the planet has the ability to do magic. It's just a matter of becoming disciplined about doing it. So intention and discipline are two very, very important things in magic. Like keeping up with it, keep up with the vision, keep up with what you want. So what we can surmise is vision, intention, and discipline. How bad do you want it? And how is it going to affect the world around you? Like I keep on using money. If you need money, you have to be very specific about where you want this money to come from. Do you want to raise at work? Do you want to get like a mysterious check in the mail? Like the other day, I was doing some work for money and I got like a $300 check because somebody owed me a refund, and I just got it out of the blue. I said, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Not saying it's going to happen every time, but if you need it, magic always takes the path of least resistance. Either you're going to get opportunities for the desired outcome, or it's going to take a very out of left field approach. But it will happen with the power of crystal clear intention, discipline, and keeping up with the vision.
I love it. I think we could talk about magic all day.
We could. I'd love
I know.
About magic all day.
Maybe not the goetic part. That was a little disturbing. I don't know if I want to summon anybody, but
if you read like a lot of the stuff, it's kind of beautiful because you use all these wonderful sigils, and it's very, 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 very witchy.
I'm actually now really interested in seeing some of these rituals. So I kind of want to look it up and see.
Grab your broomstick.
I know.
Grab your broomstick. Start riding it around a campfire.
Who says I have a broomstick? Who says I have a broomstick? Anyways.
Yeah, I've seen your house.
You're not funny. So anyways.
Let me get my my cards out of my bag. Yeah. I ran in here. I'm like,
go grab them real quick,
sure.
And we'll open this up for folks now. If you'd like to have Zeke read a card for you today, please do.
Zeke's wearing clothes. Zeke is wearing clothes.
Yeah, Zeke is clothed. Where? Should I show you the picture he sent before?
Yeah, okay, I'm sure he'll love it.
Hold on. I don't know if he will or not, but I'll find it here. Hold on. Fill for me while I do this.
All right. So anyways, so Todd and I did manifest about a week ago, right around the same time, and boom, we did get something that we had both worked together to get the very next day. So that was pretty amazing.
You see like people working like the power of group intention is absolutely amazing. That's why you'd see like a lot of witches working in covens or in magical lodges and stuff, because they would solidify their wills together, and that typically usually compounds the outcome of a spell or a ritual. That's why but even if you can't be part of like a physical coven, find people online who will help you focus on your intention,
Yeah, and it really did solidify for me the idea that manifesting really does work.
Yeah, I'm going to say this, and I might be wrong, but I don't think I ever am wrong about anything. I don't think you believed in it fully until you were part of this and this took place. Yeah, because it literally was the very next day. And then next day. Within a week of that, it came to conclusion. Yeah. So Renee has reached out and asked you for a card to be pulled.
Sure.
I didn't see what you lit there. Are you smoking something?
Oh yeah. Typically, whenever I work with my cards, I like to wake them up with a little bit of incense and do my little mantra. Because I talk to the cards because the cards have spirits. To me, they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually tell them, time to wake up. It's time to go to work. And that usually really helps. And I also cleanse my reading space too.
I have the picture you sent me earlier that you said you were going to dress for the occasion. Can I show it on here? Is that okay?
That's fine.
So this is how Zeke was going to come dressed today. Ready?
All right. I love the face too.
Yeah, that's me just waking up with my bed head and everything. That's to go away. That's what I was trying to make go away in the shower.
When you went to get your cards, I said to Todd, I go, Zeke is dressed today. And then he said, well, that's not what he sent me earlier.
Sorry, Sandy. This is a family show.
I know.
Yeah, well, we just showed it, so it doesn't matter.
I think it's funny that every single time you're on with us, we're debating whether or not you'll be clothed.
Okay, I have Renee's card right here.
Okay.
It is the book. And what the book tells me about what's going on with Renee, that life is sort of in transition for her. And I feel like they need to pull another card, which I've pulled the man card. He's holding he's holding an otter for some reason. And what that says about me is sort of you're starting to learn about yourself. And the gentleman card showing up next to that it sort of involves masculine energy. Like maybe you're in a relationship where you're starting to try to figure out what this person is about. You know what I mean? It's kind of like basically you're in a season of learning about yourself and who you are in a relationship, or maybe you're just outside of a relationship.
Okay. Betsy is up next.
Betsy. Hi, Betsy. Happy Sunday. Fun day.
Hey, Betsy. 1 second. And I'm going to give him a little shuffle, then we'll be off to the races. Betsy got the letter. And what the letter tells me is that notification has come or is coming that's going to change your life. So get ready for a little surprise. And that's going to, you have correspondence coming somehow. It's going to be pretty revolutionary for you. And you drew the heart card, and I drew the heart card after that, which means it's going to have to do with something very personal in your life.
Interesting. Maybe she'll get one of those $300 checks.
I would. Please. Please, sir, I'd like some more.
Sudi's on with us today.
Sudi.
She is asking for a card.
Hi, Sudi. I think most of these folks were on whenever I was on the first time.
It's quite possible.
You have some fans.
Okay. Oh. Sudi's card is the tree. And what the tree represents is growth. Like your roots are going down deep right now. Like you're going through a bit of a situation. And sometimes it can seem a little bit heavier than other times. But as you're going through a trial, don't keep persevering because your roots are getting deeper and deeper. Let's see. Oh, and you got the ring card after that. So the tree and the ring together sort of make me feel like it sort of represents that you're making commitments to yourself as you're going through this adversity, and you're learning how to take care of yourself before you take care of other people, because you've always been the type of person to always feel like you have to lay yourself down on the sacrificial altar before making other people actually take care of themselves. So you're seeing the power. You're seeing the power of self-care is basically what I'm seeing right there.
So basically, Sudi, all you need to do is just look in the mirror, honey.
Yep.
Because he just called you on that. Take care of yourself too.
Yes.
Miss Tammy would like a card.
Hi, Tammy. Hello, Tammy. Let's see. Okay. All right, Tammy, you've got the lilies. The lilies are my favorite card in the entire Lenormand deck because I get to use the word bullshit.
Uh-oh.
Cards like that grow without inordinate amounts of bullshit. And if there's someone who's had a dream or a vision, it's been Tammy. She's had aspirations in life, especially as a child. That people have said she's never going to be able to do, and people have just been shoveling this ornate amounts of malarkey on her. And and she's coming into bloom. She is blooming in spite of people, is what she's going through right now. And that sort of confirmed because I just pulled the bear card because she's overcoming some challenges. And the challenges are there for a reason, Tammy. They are to help you bloom a little bit more each time. You feel like sometimes you're pushing a boulder up a hill, but that's actually building your strength for the thing you wanted to do with most of your life.
Love it.
Yep.
I want to know what these challenges are, Tammy. So contact me on the side there.
Third card. It's the anchor. And that represents that that things may seem like they're up in the air right now as you're going through this process, but actually it's taking you to a brand new place and brand new phase in life. So just hang in there, Tammy.
Very good. I'm sorry, wrong one there. This is Joe would like a card.
Hi, Joe. Let me go ahead and shuffle these for you. All right, Joe. Your first card is the birds. And the birds talk about community. It talks about relationships. And the house showing up next after that is sort of represents personal relationships that are in your life right now. And the whip and the scourge showing up next to that sort of shows a little bit of upheaval sort of in personal relationships is what I'm seeing right there. And you're somebody who feels guilty about stuff that wasn't even your fault. So I think what we can gather from here, Joe, is forgive yourself for stuff that happened a long time ago that you had no stock in. So it could be someone, I feel like it's someone that hurt you and then gaslit you to make you believe that something was your fault when in all actuality it wasn't. So let that shit go and move forward.
All right. Couple more here, if you don't mind. Is that all right?
Sure.
Ed would like a card.
Hey. I say hello to everybody. If you make fun of my voice, Todd.
I'm not. I would never.
So help me.
Makes fun of me constantly.
I would never make fun of you ever. Just I wouldn't do it.
Hey, that's a nice set right there, you know?
A nice set of what? A nice set of what?
That's a nice
birds? Those are nice birds.
Eyes.
I worked very hard on those.
Okay. All right.
Your first card is the dog, which talks about faithfulness and responsibility. Your next card after that is the tower. Don't worry, it doesn't mean the same thing in Lenormand as it does in tarot. Because I pull out the tower card and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And your next card after that is the rider. What this says to me is you've worked very hard for something, because the dog tells me that you've been faithful and responsible about something, and you're finally going to see some fruit. It's kind of like you've worked very hard. It's like I was saying, you've been faithful to the vision, and it's about to come into fruition for you. So just keep 10 toes down, and it's going to change for you. It's coming, and it's going to happen fast and very, very unexpectedly, which is being told to me by the rider card.
Cool.
Very cool.
And looks like we got one more. John has asked for one.
Oh, John. Hey, John, how are you?
He said that he rarely sees you with clothes on, so I don't exactly know what
it's kind of my thing. I'm very much a free spirit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, John. Mm-hmm. Okay. John, your first card is the heart. Wow. Your next card after that is the letter. So what this tells to me is about receiving correspondence from somebody that's very close to you, because the heart represents like a emotion. It represents something you feel something or someone you feel very deeply about. And the letter sort of represents a conversation you've had with someone. And I feel like the writer showing up represents change. So I feel like you're going to have going to have a very interesting conversation with somebody who's very near and dear to your heart. That's going to cause a change in course for your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Anybody else?
I'm going to ask for one because I want to know how the stuff that was manifested, how it's going to kind of roll out here. If it's going to be good. Were you really?
I was going to have him read yours.
Don't speak for me. Ever.
Don't you brandish that cup at her.
Thanks, Zeke. Don't get him going. Don't get him going.
Do you know what she did?
Todd,
your blanking daughter.
Todd, can you please put away your tiny tiki? Thank you.
Todd's tiki is tiny.
That will stay in the arsenal now, along with that, and with that, and with that. And now we'll have this one as part of the family of stuff that I'll just occasionally throw up there. So
it's a nice set, Todd. You don't know what a nice set is. Screw you, Todd.
I picked up a lot of water heaters to get that chest, damn it.
Did you?
So y'all's first card about what you did. Your first card was the snake. Your next card after that is the letter. Your next card after that is the fish. I like the fish. And your next card after that is the clova, the veritable card of manifestation is what that is right there. So the snake, the letter, the fish, and the clover. The snake usually represents something with sly intentions, but right here, like a snake sheds its skin, sort of represents a transition for you guys. The letter represents a notification you're going to get about something that's going to lead to be very prosperous for you. And the clover card tells me you asked for it. and in a good way, because what you manifested is coming down the pipes. So something that's going to happen that you visualized and you did ritual for and you've cast your intention out into the ether for is going to be very prosperous for you guys. And it's going to feel like you're drinking from a fire hose. So wow. It wouldn't hurt to prepare yourself. It's like the rain is coming, so don't put out your tiny little bowls and cups. You need to get out the basins and the buckets.
Got it.
Very good. Thank you.
Don't keep doing things the same way. Start doing things like it's already happened. Gotcha.
Very good. Thank you.
We love to have you on here. We like you in general.
Yes.
And we would love to have you back often and often and often. So
yes,
what do you have planned for readings and stuff like that in the St. Louis area? Anything planned?
To be at my usual spots, like Alchemy Gallery in Festus and Peace, Love, and Coffee in St. Charles. And also I'm going to start taking bookings for like Halloween readings, and I want to start doing parties and stuff like that as well. And typically that's the time when I really picks up for like independent readings.
Mm-hmm.
It's always fun to get booked for parties because I love to just be around people and do readings for them.
Zeke, do you do, or have you ever thought about doing something sort of like this, like online parties for people?
I've never done like an online party. I've done online readings, but I would totally be down for like Zoom readings to do for large groups.
I think that's a cool idea. Then you can reach so many people.
Definitely, because it's something I'm always looking for new ways to do divination and new ways to get magic out there and give people access to it. That's why I don't like to charge exuberant amounts I like to charge a fair amount for my readings, but I like to charge not exuberant because I just believe in everybody having access.
Yeah, I do.
That's funny because that's what Victoria said the same thing. Yep. You know, she looks at it. She looks at this kind of stuff as almost like health. Like, you take care of your health, you take your supplements, you do your exercises, you do that. And these are things you should do along the way as well to help you navigate life. And so she always wants it to be very, affordable.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like sometimes we just need a little direction. I spoke to someone earlier this week, and they were very nervous about getting a reading. Whenever someone says they're nervous about getting a reading, I usually say, just follow your intuition. Just pray about it. If you feel like it's not the season where you need where you need to be open to that kind of direction or that kind of energy, then I'll be here whenever you feel like it is the season.
Yep.
Very good. Hey, anything else you want to say? Otherwise, we're going to put you back in the green room while we say goodbye to everybody.
Nothing I can think of. Just don't be scared to try magic. Don't be scared to do anything as simple as writing down an intention. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to dabble. There's nothing wrong with dabbling.
That's right.
And you can find Zeeke on Facebook. It's facebook.com/readings with Zeeke. He's got a new moniker for his Facebook, so you can check that out. And I'm sure if anybody has questions about magic or readings or anything like that, they can reach out to you there.
Correct.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Zeeke.
Thanks for being on with us. And don't worry about being late. It's absolutely okay.
It was fine. We had fun waiting for
We did.
you. We had fun at your expense.
Maybe a little bit.
I was taking a shower, so the listeners didn't have to smell me.
See, there we go.
Perfect. That's very kind. A lot of our guests aren't that kind. You're very kind. So thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, there you go.
I love him.
We got to the mystery of where Zeeke was, then we found out where Zeeke was, and then we had a great conversation today.
It was fantastic. I really love them. Zeeke to me is just one of my favorite people. Zeeke is another person that you meet and you instantly just feel an affinity for. You just feel like you've known them forever. That's Zeeke to me. And he's got a cool name.
With a side of trouble.
Yeah,
there's always that side of trouble kind of hanging on there. So
just a little bit.
Let's see. I saw that our Sunday audio cast posted while I think we've been on here.
Yes.
So keep an eye open for that. Who's the guest on that one again?
David Black, our Australian writer, director, actor. David Black joined us a couple of weeks ago, and now we have the audio cast available. So check that out. Make sure you do. Make sure you join our group, our Facebook group, Stay Weirdos, Friends of the Sandy and Toddcast. We always have a lot of fun there. We're up to about 150 members, and it's just a safe place that you can go to voice your opinion, ask questions, give your thoughts, and it's non-judgmental.
Absolutely. Going to be a lot of fun. Have a great week, everybody. Tuesday night, we got a Tarot Tuesday with Eric. We hope you join us for that. And
Eric's
we'll have
back.
an event on our Facebook page very soon.
All righty. Yes, we will.
All right. See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.